The hardest part of being a South African woman is the limitation to my freedom of movement. I mean, we're about to commemorate Women's Day on the 9th of August, and that march took place 64 years ago. And when I try to think of the difference between then and now, I don't know how much freer South African women actually are. I don't feel free at all. When lockdown first happened, I'd actually written a piece on how the lockdown had increased the rates of gender-based violence in South Africa and globally. Then my co-founder and co-director, Leanne Berger, approached me after having seen that article, and she asked me if I would be interested in joining forces and creating an organization to help combat this pandemic in itself. She's an illustrator and designer, and I have a legal background, so we formed this idea of the Embrace Project where we could use both sets of talents. Currently, we have two organizations. It's Fight Back SA and PASOP. They fight GBV on the ground. Fight Back SA actually provides self-defense classes to women and girls in sort of violence-prone communities in Cape Town. And PASOP very much assists the refugee community in Cape Town.
Yeah, cool. So on the website under artists, it has all the artists' names, and then it has what they submitted for the reason why they wanted to contribute to this cause.
I think art was such an important facet of the Embrace Project, because even though what we're dealing with is in no way uplifting, we can somehow show light and hope. And I think that's the power of art, is actually just, using that to communicate what can't always be said in words.
On the artist side specifically, I've been receiving the messages from the artists, those who have wanted to apply to have their art sold, and we've actually had to curate what art we sell, just for the pure fact that we've had such a good response. So since we launched, which was in June, we have to date raised 30,000 Rand, and that has been split equally between our two beneficiaries.
We called it the Embrace Project because we specifically wanted to include everyone in this fight against gender-based violence, and that it was all embracing of the different genders, even non-binary genders, and we also wanted it to be embracing of community and of change. And our slogan is every human's power, and we again specifically picked it that way because we didn't want to distinguish between humans, because it's in each of our hands to make a change, and particularly in the dominant, gender that perpetrates gender-based violence. Legal reform, sensitization training, also collaboration between civil society and the criminal justice system, having a more streamlined database, introducing curriculum into schools, having specialized units and protocols for victims who are coming to report. We ask the public to buy these pieces of art that are on our online art store, so that we can create that sort of income. And then we also ask for partnerships from organizations who are already combating gender-based violence on the ground, because we don't just want to be involved in giving them money to sustain themselves, but hopefully forming a partnership in future projects. But we'll get messages from people who aren't in any of those areas or any of those fields, not in the creative or in the advocacy field, asking us how they can contribute. Like, this is their skill set, what can they do? And that to me has been probably the most heartwarming thing, because all it does is it indicates to me how much people care in South Africa, and how much people actually want to see change. And what blows my mind is if that many people want to see change, how can we still be in the position we're in?